What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another character rank up video. So, it is time to get Domino ranked up and try her out a little bit. So, I have saved my last rank up ticket here for Domino, so that's where this is going to be going. I'm going to have to save up another 2,500 crystals after this and hope for that deal to come back around, because I always like having one mega rank up ticket laying around in my inventory, but this one is going to Domino because, yeah, I can't really wait to do her the patient way. So there we go. Boom. Domino is at 6 stars, and then... oh, yep, we got the epic quest complete. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this right now. And then we're going to go ahead and use one of these guys here to get our mastery done, because I had to use up all of the Emkron shards on the one of the missions for the Deadpool epic quest there. So definitely running a little low on those, so I want to conserve them. But anyway, there we go. We got her ranked up. So now let's go ahead and get her leveled up here. So let's just pop in some of these EXP chips. Then we'll work our way back down here to about 1900 is around the sweet zone, maybe 1880 or something like that. Let's go ahead right there, and boom. Oh, no, we did need a tiny bit more. Alright, yeah, just finish that off. Alright, so got her to level 60. The Reliable Mercenary. Yes, I'm so happy to have Domino in the game right now. She's one of my favorite characters in the X-Men universe. So let's go ahead and see if we can't get a nice iso-weight set for her. Hoping for Power the Angry Hulk or Overdrive, of course. I do want an attack-based set on her, because I think that's really going to synergize well with all of her native stats, because she has really high crit damage and crit rate, especially when she gets her tier 2 passive. So she should be able to dish out quite a bit of burst damage, I would think. Come on, let's get an iso-weight set here. Let's go. Anything? No? No? Am I gonna have to come back to this later? Alright, well, if we don't get anything here, I'll just cut back to when we have her all finished up. Alright, yeah, this is gonna take a while, so I'll cut back when we have everything rolled and leveled up on her, so yeah, be right back. Alright, and we are back. So I finished getting Domino all ready here, so let's go ahead and take a look for her skills. I went ahead and leveled up the third skill, so we have this one leveled up so that we get that increased skill cooldown for the enemies, which is kind of interesting. I wonder how that's going to work in PvP, if that's actually going to make her useful in PvP in certain situations to kind of reduce the enemies or increase the enemies' cooldown so they can't use skills quite as often. I don't really see it being that big of a deal for PvP, but it could be fun. And then also to level it up to get that increase the amount of reflect damage. So it goes from, what we start at, 20% to 35%, something like that, up to max attack of 40%. So it's okay, nothing too crazy. It's only 40%, so it's not going to be too much. And then the fourth skill here, we have leveled up to increase that chance of missing for the enemies, which goes up to 80%, and I'm pretty sure that's the highest in the game, because I don't think Heimdall gets that high. But yeah, that's pretty cool, so I'm definitely curious to see how that works. And then the fifth skill here we have leveled up because it did actually increase the amount of burn damage. It's not really going to apply to World Boss or anything like that, so mainly for like Shadowland and PvP where you can apply burn, but it was still worth leveling up. You get an extra 10% for that burn damage, which is pretty nice. Yeah, so those are the skills that I leveled up. For the iso-weight set, we finally ended up rolling Power the Angry Hulk, and I just went ahead and just activated it with kind of like some placeholder iso-weight right now. We'll probably level this up a little bit later if I decide to max her out or not. For the custom gear, I ended up giving her a guard break immunity, ignore dodge, and 140 proc. I did want a damage proc on her, so I was kind of looking through my damage proc obelisk. I had a lot of immune to guard break ones, so I decided to give her this one. The ignore dodge will be nice as well if I decide to use her in PvP, because ignore dodge is just, yeah, it's just a really useful stat to have all around, doesn't matter what game mode you're playing. And the immune to guard break, I mean, she doesn't need it, I don't think, based on the iframes on her skills. They start up pretty quickly. It doesn't look like she's in too much danger of getting guard broken out of the skills, so I don't think she needs it, but I do think it will be helpful for the character, because some of her skills Of course, don't have iframes, and if you decide to use those as kind of like filler skills in between your rotation, she might get guard broken, or at the end of some of her skills, she lands really close to the enemy, so you could get guard broken before you're able to start up the next skill, so that might be some of the few uses for it. So I had it, so I threw it on, but like I said, if you don't have one with immune to guard break, don't worry about it. I think you just do like a damage proc and a max HP would be really nice on her. She has really high native crit rate and crit damage, so I don't think you'll necessarily need that on her, but if you find yourself just needing a little bit to cap it off and you have it on the obelisk, that would be nice as well. Besides that, I really think max HP is probably the way to go with her. Max HP, ignore dodge, damage proc, I think would be an ideal proc for, or obelisk for her. Yeah, anyway, that's just what I've decided to put on her for now, so now let's go ahead and try her out a little bit in some gameplay. Alright, so here we are at Thanos for just the normal world boss. He'll be a nice test for a tier 1 character here, so we're going to bring Domino in and see how she does. This is a team I decided to go with. We have Moon Girl for the leadership, 36% all attack, and then we have Cho for the team up bonuses, so we get some crit rate, crit damage, and then we get some physical attack and crowd control time. So let's go ahead and hop in here. We're not going to use any strikers just because we do want to see Domino's damage just by itself. We don't want any strikers to kind of skew that, so let's see what kind of damage she can put up here. Alright, so we're going to hop into this 5th skill here. And then she is vulnerable at the end of the 5th skill, so that's why I like to hop right into, well, right into the 4th skill there at the end of it. So right when she jumps down, boom, I like to pop that 4th skill. So it looks like we did get debuffs, so we're getting a little bit of extra reduced damage here. Alright, so our damage looks decent so far. We got him down in, what, 45 seconds there? She does have pretty long iframes, so I do like that. But we still find ourselves having some downtime between skills, since I'm mainly just using 3 of her skills here. Oh, we didn't get our iframe off quite quick enough there. Alright, so moving into the cutscene here for Thanos. He's going to start dropping some meteors. Oh, we got our big dinosaur here. He still wasn't able to target us. What's the matter, Thanos? Not a big enough target for you? Alright, so the final phase here. And what are we at? 2 minutes in? Oh gosh! And we got hit. Well, anyway, Domino did okay there. Her damage looks decent, so 2 minutes, so it'll probably take about 2 minutes and 20 seconds for her to finish the fight here without any strikers, which is not too bad. I'm still getting used to her rotation, so I probably could have kept her alive a little bit better if I worked on what rotation will work. I don't know, at keeping her an iframe for the longest amount of time, because her iframe on the 5th and the 4th skill are quite long, and I was just using the iframe on the 1st skill just for the beginning part of it, just to kind of fill in a little bit of the downtime between the 4th and the 5th skill. But at the end of the 1st skill, it is not an iframe, and she is still attacking, where she kind of spins around and just shoots the guns off in a circle for a while there. So you do have to be careful about that, so you do want to make sure that you have another skill available after the 1st skill. So probably want to do something maybe like 5th skill, and as soon as she kind of like lands down on top of the boss there, I was using the 4th skill, but maybe I should use the 1st skill instead, get that partial iframe there at the beginning of it, and then hop right into the 4th skill, because the 4th skill, like I said, does end with her jumping away from the enemy, so it is a little safer to end with the 4th skill. The 3rd and 2nd skill, the 3rd skill takes a bit of time to cast, but she does get some nice buffs from it, and it reduces the enemy's defense and speed and a few other things. I can't remember exactly what it was, but most of that won't apply to the world boss anyway, so just the boost that she gets will be applied. So it's not necessarily going to be a skill you want to keep in rotation for world boss, but it could be there if you have some downtime, get that little bit of boost while the boss is far away from you or something like that. Overall, Domino looks like a pretty solid character so far. I do like her skill animations. She has decent enough survivability with those long iframes, but outside of those, she doesn't have much protection in terms of like damage immunity, invincibility, or anything like that. So you're going to be relying on those iframes and kiting around and making sure that you dodge the attacks with her. But it looks like she can also dish out quite a bit of damage, and when she gets that tier 2 passive for the guaranteed crit rate and also that big boost to crit damage, I see her damage kind of just shooting up quite a bit from the tier 1 damage here. So I will work on getting her to tier 2, and then we'll probably have a video on that where we can see a little bit more of her damage in action against maybe one of the world boss ultimates. But for now, this is just going to be my first look and first impressions at tier 1 Domino, so I hope you enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.